Good day. So as the young lady just said, my name's Yves Rougerie. I'm the president and CEO of Vision Lithium, a new or very recent addition to the lithium exploration crowd in Canada. The company was started through acquisition 2 years ago, and started up by acquiring a property from Nemaska Lithium as its main property. So the company is basically a lithium explorer at this stage, a junior exploration explorer. We have three major properties in battery mineral materials, which are the Sirmac Lithium project, which is our main project, the Case Township Lithium project located in Ontario, and the Dome Lemure copper project located in eastern Quebec. Nemaska Lithium is the largest shareholder of the company, with a 19.9% position. So we have just over 81 million shares, 40 million warrants, which are expiring later this spring, a couple of options. So a market cap of about 10 million today, our high and low over the last year between 8 cents and 75 cents. So like most other companies in the business, we've shed a few dollars. So the company, the management board of directors, myself, I'm a geologist by trade. Mr. Victor Cantori is our executive chairman. Scott Jobin Bevins, who's a past president of the PDA and a PhD. Mr. Robert Bryce, mining engineer. And we have Nancy Lacourcière, who is our CFO in Val d'Or. So as I said earlier, we have three main properties. And they're rather large properties as they go. Excuse me. The Sirmac property in northern Quebec, as you can see on the plan. Well, we'll forget that. Is 100% owned, close to 200 claims, almost 10,000 hectares. That's 100 square kilometers in size. The Case Township property at 1,150 claims and almost 240 square kilometers in eastern Ontario, and the Dome Lemure copper property in eastern Quebec, which is also 115 square kilometers in size. So we'll go through the three properties. We'll go through the Sirmac property mainly because it's our main project, and that's where we spend most of our efforts right now. It's located halfway between Chibougamau in northern Quebec and the Nemaska Lithium project, which is near the town of Nemaska. We're within 40 kilometers of the Moblan lithium deposit, which is being developed right now. This shows just shows a satellite shot with the Moblan project, the Sirmac, the road access, so that we have very good access to the property. Historically, the property has been known for about 50 years. It's been worked on 2 or 3 different occasions. The last one being by Nemaska Lithium in the late 2000s, early 2010s. And Nemaska did an intensive work program on the property to ascertain its value in comparison to the Rougerie project and to see if it could be a valid add-on to that project. So in the course of that, they drilled a bunch of holes and, of course, came up with some pretty spectacular results. As the slide shows here, the length of the intersections as well as the grades are quite significant. So they're very much in the order of the better projects out on the market. Nemaska did a small resource estimate on a very small portion of the main mineralized dike, came up with about 300,000 tons of lithium-rich material, came up with another 300 or so thousand tons of tantalum-rich material. And that's at kind of like the point at which Nemaska decided to concentrate on the Rougerie dike versus this dike. And this project became dormant around 2013. So we approached them 2016 and were able to make a deal to acquire the property for a 20% position in the new company, as well as a small cash position. And Nemaska retains a right of first refusal on the materials if we want to sell to a third party. The geological setting of the property is rather simple, as is for most lithium dikes. So as you can see the property here, it's covered mostly in sedimentary rocks of the Frotet-Evans volcano-sedimentary belt. Here again, we can see the road access on a satellite map, and you can see the major power line that comes right down, right next to the property. It's a 735,000 volt line, so we can't plug into it directly, but it's an example of the infrastructure that goes through the area. This is a slide showing the very numerous dikes that occur on the property. The main dike sits in the middle of these things, but there's at least a dozen well-known sizable dikes that have basically not been explored or certainly not drilled in search of lithium at this stage. This is the main zone on the property. It's called the number 5 dike, or the main zone. And so this is where Nemaska and previous operators such as Teck have worked, and the main reason why we picked up the property. So to the right is the confirmation drill hole program that we did last year, and as we can see, the results were quite good. The core on the left shows a section of 22 meters at 1.7% Li2O, which is quite good. The picture shows the main dike at the bottom part of it, so it's a rather high hill where we can see quite a distance. So there's a second zone on the property called the East Zone, which we more or less discovered or rediscovered this year, and we went in and we did some trenching and some sampling on this dike, which gave us some excellent results. So this is 5 kilometers away from the main dike, and what it indicates is the potential for the development of multiple ore grade or economic grade lithium dikes and deposits within those property limits. On the left side of the slide is the original property. We added about 170 claims to increase the size of the property to about 100 square kilometers. This is all land that has yet to be explored, and because of the occurrence of the main dike zone to the west and the Moblan deposit 40 kilometers to the east, we believe the potential for discovery is quite good. So for this year, for the upcoming year, for 2019, we expect to concentrate on the definition drilling of the main zone along strike on the main dike in order to create and increase the resource, the existing resource, to something much more significant. We will consider doing some more work on the east zone that we just talked about. We're also in the process of doing some metallurgical work. There was some historical metallurgical work done on this property, and that's always an important part to these lithium deposits. And historically, it was easily concentrated to over 6%, which is pretty much the benchmark for this kind of material. And so we expect the results of these tests to say the same thing for us. Once we've done that, by the end of the year, we'd like to be in a position to update and make a significant resource calculation. And we also have to plan to cover most of those 200 claims that we added to the property in search of new lithium occurrences. Our second main lithium property is called the Case Township Lithium Project in Ontario. I'll just say a quick couple of words about that. It's a huge property, 1,150 claims, 240 square kilometers. As you can see, it's located just south of the Detour Lake gold mine, just east of Timmins, near the Quebec border. And what we did here is Power Metals has a group of claims there where their flagship property occurs, and Ontario this year started map staking. So we went through the existing database of properties in Ontario where good lithium occurrences were, and where there was open ground, and we identified this as being a very favorable sector based on their results, and so we staked a whole bunch of ground around them. So for us, it has the advantage of also being within a couple of 100 kilometers of our base in Val d'Or, so that we can easily reach it and work it year-round in a cost-efficient way. And geologically, The fact that Power Metals has all these zones within a context which is very similar to the ones that occur where the Canada Lithium or the North American Lithium deposit is a very positive exploration model. The third project I'd talk about quickly is the Dome Namur copper project. So this is again quite a large project. That's over 120 square kilometers. And this is an old property. It's been around a long time. It's been worked by a lot of people. There are a tremendous amount of surface outcrops of mineralized material, both lead, zinc, copper, silver, a very rich environment of mineralization. But it's somewhat mountainous for that area of the country. The differential is about 600 meters between the bottom and the top of the property. And what it is it's a dome. They call it a dome because there's an intrusive, a buried intrusive that has come up and has pushed the rocks around. And we're only about 50 kilometers west of the Gaspé copper mine, which was a major operator for about 40 years. They had a smelter in Murdochville, just 50 kilometers away, and they produced about 150 million tons or more of ore at about 1% copper. So we believe this property has a very similar setting geologically to the Gaspé copper, the difference being that it's more buried, so it's covered. What we're seeing on surface is the evidence of the deeper set mineralization. And so the work we want to do on that property going forward is to test that potential. So this map shows that geographical location. So within the Gaspé copper and Dome Namur trench there's 2 or 3 other copper deposits of the same type. And so that's a pretty exciting property as well. So the program on that property is to drill the deep-seated gravity anomaly, which we expect is an intrusive for sure, but we hope a mineralized porphyritic or porphyry type intrusive. Thank you very much.